let's talk about the main topic now. There's this new big drama unfolding on the JP side about the streamer called Fanta. Let me open the rat dump we have because it's basically all me. I posted everything in there. And guess who exposed that drama? Our favorite Japanese Keemstar, Korekore. That's right. So Fanta is a very large Japanese streamer. He comes all the way back from the Nico Nico day, and basically this is sort of a Japanese Saikuno situation. Yeah, Japanese Saikuno is crazy. Korekore made a stream on Kick where I have the transcript for it. We're going to take a look at it in a bit, where he goes back and forth with this victim that wants to expose Fanta cheating to everybody. Also, two-timing multiple women. What's different though, Fanta had a family and children, and during the Korekore stream, Fanta ends up hopping on call with him and admitting to everything. I don't know why Korekore always gets these people to admit to everything they've done on his stream, by the way. Like, I have another video on my main channel about Aqua's artist who was like a groomer, and he legit like hopped on during Korekore's expose and admitted to all his crimes on stream too. So eventually Fanta ends up releasing a statement which reached 31 million views, apologizing for what he's done. Let's take a look at all of that. The translation of the document is to everyone who always supports me and to all involved parties. As it has been spreading on parts of the internet, I, Fanta, have had inappropriate relationship with multiple women. This is like the opposite of that one politician that was like, I did not have an appropriate relationship with that woman. He said, this was an incredibly selfish act on my part, and I'm painfully aware that it was an extremely insincere action towards my family, whom I should have valued above all else, as well as towards the woman involved. Furthermore, I'm filled with deep regret for ending up betraying the fans who believed in and supported my activities, the various affiliated companies, and Zeta Division. Zeta Division was the esport group he was part of, and he was part of the content creator segment out of it, and they also dropped him following these allegations. As announced officially, I have accepted the penalty of dismissal from Zeta Division, and I have decided to leave Zeta Division effective today, April 26, 2026. Alongside this, I will be suspending all activities as Fanta indefinitely starting today. Going forward, I will dedicate all of my time to facing my family as a husband and a father, and facing everyone to whom I have caused trouble. I do not expect the lost trust to return, but I am prepared to spend the rest of my life continuing to make amends to my family. I will fundamentally re-examine my way of living and reconsider how I should conduct myself as a human being. Once again, I deeply apologize for the tremendous amount of trouble I have caused at this time. Okay, well, let me start from the start, just to give you some context on who Fanta is, because he's also been involved in some Niji Sanji drama, by the way. That's how I recognize his name. So this guy, he started off on Nico Nico back in 2011 to 2018. He had a lot of energy, and he had always this mask persona like I have in my thumbnail. Now he has like a PNG that he uses sometimes, but he always had this like around mid-30s office worker persona, which resonated with his audience. And what really put him on the map, it was like the voice impressions that he did. It got people really engaged, and then he started like collabing with other people, and he would entertain these big and famous streamers with his like voice imitations. Once he went on Twitch and YouTube, he started collabing with a legendary streamer called Shaka during a game of PlayerUnknown Battleground, like PUBG, back when that was popular. And he used like his voice lines and his comedic timing to entertain this guy, and this made him skyrocket. He went from like hundreds of viewers to several thousands of viewers at the time. And he also became famous for like some Vegeta from Dragon Ball impersonations. I've heard somebody say that he does like a fat Vegeta voice, but I'm not sure about that one. his popularity peaked when he joined the street graffiti roleplay project, like the Grand Theft Auto collabs roleplays, where he had like a character that became really popular. And because of all of these roleplay success, he became the 5th most watched Twitch streamer globally in September 2023. Like, this guy's a pretty big deal. You guys might not know about it on the inside, but worldwide, being the 5th most watched Twitch streamer, and he doesn't even speak English, that's pretty huge. And then a few years after that, he ends up joining Zeta Division, which dropped him a few days ago. If you guys have followed my channel, you might have heard of the Niji Sanji like GTA roleplay scandal that happened. Yeah, so there was like a moment where he made a joke. They made some joke about like kidnapping this girl and selling her to somebody else. It was like Fanta and Kanae. They made a joke about this other girl from another agency, I believe. But now all of this is resurfacing again because people are like, wait, we thought you were joking back then, but you're actually like gross. He's getting like a ton of backlash now. But also what's kind of flipping the situation is that Korekore is also getting a ton of backlash because Japanese fans, the commentary is like that Korikore's got way too much pull, and every time he exposes somebody, it forces companies and people to respond to him or to, release statements, to drop people, to pivot and have to do something. Like he did it with the Yab controversy. He did it with, Mikeneko. He did it with the, he exposed the Aqua like artist. So people are like, oh, so whenever a victim's got a problem, they just go to Korekore, and Corey's got so much influence. This guy is so big, he's so massive that he's forcing these companies and these public figures to react to him, and he's forcing them like on a back pedal. I feel like I'd argue, well, you shouldn't have done this in the first place. Like, making your wife and kids cry is the hate of tastefulness. The one thing a man absolutely mustn't do, and something you can't just apologize for on the tatami mat and call it square. Can you really live out those words about spending your whole life making amends without a shred of deceit? You lived in multi-million-dollar companies alone. How dare you? But Korekore is like very sensationalist in the way like he exposes things. Like he's just like joking around during the interviews. So people believe, and you guys might agree with that, of course, and he is, of course, doing it, for clout and for money. They don't like the way he's doing things. However, he's massive at this point. Oh yeah, people are roasting Fanta because he's changed his PFP to pitch black, and they're like, lol, how old are you? Anyway, you're so, like, you're trying to be edgy and stuff, which I hadn't even noticed. I've known him since back in the Twitch days when he had like 20 concurrent viewers before joining Zeta, but man, he was so annoyingly persistent with women. I remember cracking up with my buddies watching him relentlessly bug a female streamer friend of mine to play games together, and when she turned him down, he'd sulk like a total baby and spit out some petty parting shots. So exposed for infidelity. I'm not entirely sure how Japanese audience view infidelity. It feels like, I hear some things that like some street interviews that Japanese people don't really care about cheating and stuff like that. But then whenever there's cheating scandals, people get axed from their jobs like super easily. So which one is it? I think I gotta do some research on that. But if you guys know in chat, let me know. Breaking news! Fantai from the professional esports team Zeta Division exposed for infidelity with multiple women expelled from the team on the same day. Exposed after being called out by Korekore, the individual himself apologized via social media and announced an indefinite suspension of activities. At the same time, past posts come back to bite him like a boomerang. I haven't had time to translate those past posts yet, so we're gonna skip over them for now. Some of his ex-teammates have also went and cried on stream. I only like this because I was trying to make my algorithm turn into something that will show me more Fanta posts. I do this sometimes when I want to look into a specific topic.
何にせよ、あいつはね、だからもったいないよ、普通に。それこそ最近で言ったらストロークとかもめっちゃ真面目に頑張って、すげえちゃんと向き合っててさ、なんかその、本人自体がさ、その、なんだろうな。まあ配信者がさ、大体一番最初に、俺とかもそうだったんだけど、その配信である程度いろんな人見に来てくれるな。
Oh, see, this is one person I think criticizing Korekore, which was what I was looking for. Of course, what Fanta did was absolutely unacceptable, and Zeta's decision is the right one. But here we go again with the exposés. Somehow, this pattern where exposers are the one moving public opinion and companies is just so typical. It's like Korekore driving multiple activists into retirement. It is some kind of necessary evil too. Why do the victims turn to exposers for help? Kanae Sensei, the crime psychology Vtuber, explains it all. It's in Japanese, so we won't understand it. Is this Japanese Saikuno? Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much. I've translated the Korekore video. It's a very interesting transcript. Maybe I should have started with that, actually. I'm kind of going about this upside down. But it's kind of like with all the other controversies when a scandal happens, all of their past tweets get dug up. Like this person is flaming them for the GTA thing. I really wish you never got involved with female streamers again. I used to laugh off your bits as jokes talking about the GTA roleplay. But if you're serious doing that stuff, it's just way too gross. In the end, those Chinese folks who were bashing Fanta-san alongside Kana-san were right, huh? And if it turns out you were secretly hooking up with some female activist or whatever, that'd just be straight up shocking. So honestly, my mental state's taking a pretty hard hit right now. Person's defending them. Like I said, it's very similar to the Saikuno situation because some people are just like, well, it's not that deep. Every streamer is sleeping with multiple women. Everyone's bashing Fanta, but streamers are all routinely sleeping with multiple women in their daily lives, you know? Cheating and affairs are totally normal for them. It's just a matter of whether it's been exposed yet or busted open like with this guy. Nothing more. Once you've got fame, women are infinite. So it's just basic male instinct, am I right? What a take! This is the most thing I've ever read. More than the affair itself, what pisses me off is being turned into father for a small-time streamer like Korekore. You know, Fanta.
案件配信中案件配信中なのこれスポンサーついてんのやばいでしょスポンサーついてんのだいぶやばいよ
This is how Korekore talk. He's like very sensationalist about the whole thing. I'll read the transcript. It's like an AI translation though, so it might not be totally accurate. But I did like verify it in two different machines. Maybe I'll have Korekore in the background for ambiance. And also he does the interview with the girl while she's using a voice changer to protect her identity. Yeah, he's just a reality show host at this point. Literally. He's literally that. Somewhat true popular people fairly often say, yeah, but that doesn't excuse it. He's just like, oh, but it's just male nature. They can't help themselves. It's like, he's got a wife and kids. Like, come on. Can we draw the line somewhere? Never mind. I can't do this with Korekore speaking in the background. It's bugging me out too much. Rima cannot multitask. I think this is the hook part. So it starts actually here. While this all happened, Fanta was in the middle of a sponsored stream. I kid you not. I kid you not. He was in the middle of a sponsored stream, like worst timing ever. Korekore is like, so today, do you guys know about the Zeta division? Zeta division, pro gamers, baby. Zeta division, believe it or not, seems someone was victimized by a pro gamer from this division. And this person wants to talk using a voice changer. Hello! She says, yes, hello. Please keep your name hidden for now. But could you explain from the beginning exactly what kind of message you suffered? She says, I exchanged DMs with the person in September 2023 and we exchanged line info in December of that year. Says, yes, so after 3 months you connected online. She says it was like a secret promise. There's a secret promise, yes. In the following year, in April 2024, I was to go where he lived and we met for the first time. So we connected after about half a year and then, well, at that time, I was sort of tagging along on a trip, you could say, but anyway, it was at a hotel. So we end up meeting at the hotel. She says, yes. Ah, so you were already, or rather meeting with the premise of doing it. She says, yes, it was consensual. So at least she, she clarified that part. There's no ambiguity there. And then in May, you met at the hotel and did it. May again, yes. Korekore says, by the way, when you say you did it, she says, in April with a rubber, and in May without a rubber. Why does it always go back to these conversations? May without, yes, he's the type to be careful on the first move, by the way. Was the other person wearing a mask? He's asking her if she was wearing his full-on wrestler mask. Yeah, there was a gap in time during that. Oh, sorry, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Korekore says, yes, I can hear you. Was the other person wearing a mask? No, there was no wearing mask or anything. Right, no mask. Conversely, well, because of COVID, I wonder if I was wearing one. Yes, conversely, you were wearing one. Yes. Oh, I see. The other way around. She says we communicated a bit during that time, but it kind of dropped off and I was being left on read and unread quite a bit. In December, there was an event or something for his work over there, so I contacted him saying I was going there. And then he says, like, so you finally did it at his house? She says, yeah, we did. So the third time you won his trust, you did it at his house. And then she says, I got his address for the first time and I got excited. He's like, yeah, you're stepping into his private space. And then in June 2025, there was another gap in here, but I visited his house that time too. And he says, however, she says, from around that time regarding our physical relationship, or rather the acts were just to satisfy himself. Korekore is like, what do you mean by that? Specifically, what was it? Like hand jobs? He says, that almost feels like a waste, but I wonder why. Did the other person just get too lazy to move? What was the other person doing during that time? Was he just lying down quietly or something? Like, this is like Jerry Springer style of interviewing. And also, like, every time he interviews somebody, they're never like really moral posturing or something. They're never really even saying that they're victims or anything. They're just like, yeah, I kind of just want to expose him. Like, yeah, whatever. She says he was looking at his phone. He says, Then, wait, was he playing games or something? Since he's a pro gamer? Bro, he was on his phone while she was giving him a Nani? Everyone is horrible in this situation. She says, I found out later, but he was looking at X. Wait a minute. This guy is streaming right now. Hey, I heard his name beforehand, so can I say his name now? She says, please do. He says, just so everyone knows, I received some evidence beforehand, evidence that she's meeting with this person. Just to confirm the facts, can I put it out there? Is it okay if I say his name? She says, Fanta-san. But I've only heard the details of the damage vaguely. If you're streaming right now, Fanta-san, can you come on the call? Now? This is technically an affair based on the story. Apparently this person has a wife and kids, but it was an affair with this woman. Oh, he's in the middle of a sponsored stream? What? Is this a sponsored stream? Do you have sponsors? That's insane. That's insane if you have sponsors, Fanta-san. Whatever, let's hear the story then. Next, well, it's probably reached Fanta-san by now. She says, after that, also until February and March and early April of this year. Korekore responds, you guys were doing it a lot, huh? You were doing it until April. She says there's been no physical intimacy this year. Oh, so he says, oh, since 2024, sexual acts have stopped, but the relationship continued. Yes, and then? She says, in October 2025, I believe he announced on stream that he was married and had a child, but I met him the day before that. Okay, that's wild. That's kind of a wild detail. Korekore is like, so, dane, making it public, he was going to say on stream that he was married and had a child, and I heard that they were actually in a common law marriage and not legally registered. But on stream he said he was married. Well, so that means it's an affair, right? Even with common law marriage, it's an affair. So basically, while hiding the fact that he had a wife and child, this Fanta guy was engaging in sexual acts with this woman for several years. Well, this is definitely victimization. Wait, you didn't know? She says, I didn't know. Well, then you're a victim. Wait, but did you continue the relationship even after he announced he had a wife and kid? Did you have a relationship even once after that? She says, with me? Yes. So that means you're both victim and an instigator. She says, oh, you're asking me. He says, I'm only asking you right now. And what was the number one reason you decided to expose this now? She says, in April of this year, just the other day, I suddenly received a line message. And the content was, we aren't legally registered, but actually we were. Oh, this is a message from Fanta. Okay. He says, we aren't legally registered, but actually we were. I don't have feelings for you, but we were meeting up. But from now on, I want to cherish my family, so I'm never going to contact you again. She says, I suddenly got that message. And Korekore is like, so you were being lied to. And I think I sent an image of that to you, Korekore-san. He says, yes, let me take a look. So she sent him that evidence. I said, isn't this way too sudden? But when I sent a line saying, if you're going to do this, I'll have to think about what to do next. And then he called her and said, my wife told me to send that message. Korekore is like, what is that message? He said on the phone his wife told him to send it? Isn't that a lie? No, that's a lie. His wife doesn't know. Wow, that reeks of a lie. No, because would a wife really send a message like this? We were actually legally registered. Would a wife say that? Does his wife grasp the exchange between this woman and Fanta, where he said they weren't registered? It's a stretch to say she knew about that. And then the woman says, well, Fanta said his wife saw it. She saw the exchange and his wife told him to send this. I wonder about that. Is his wife really aware of this? Well, if she knows, we can just confirm with him, right? Then she says, that was the first phone call. He said, I'm at the airport, so I can't contact you anymore, and I felt like you were just going to hang up. So I said I had things to talk about too and asked him to call me. And that led to the second phone call. And during that exchange, I said I wanted to ask important things. And I asked him about that line message he sent. Can I take this as your intention? And he gave a vague answer. The text was created by her, so there are parts that aren't my intention. And by the way, what do you want from him? Korekore asked. She says, there's a high chance he was having a relationship with other women than me while we were together. Korekore is like, yes. So there might be other victims. So you want to make this public so he stops doing this kind of thing, right? She says, yes, that's right. So that means you don't really feel like a victim, but more like, since he's having so many affairs, you want to issue a warning. She says, that's right. About this picture you just sent me, isn't this his wife? If you look at the date, March 2026, isn't this you? This person in this Furikura picture? She says it's not me. And it's not his wife either? Right, I've seen pictures of his wife. So does this mean he was having an affair with someone other than you last month? She says, I think so. It's that kind of picture. Damn, so there's another. He was having another affair after his wife caught him with this girl. He says, that's pretty crazy. But wait, if that's the case, then this woman probably knows too, because he said it on stream that it was in March 7, right? The woman says, the day I found this, I asked him directly, who is this? And he played dumb and said he didn't know who it was. Korekore responds, isn't that a stretch? He said he didn't know who it was. Looking at this Korekore, he's 100% lying. I didn't show him this Korekore, but not just that, there was also a medical certificate. Verbally, he found a few of these things. And then he said he had no memory of it. What kind of medical certificate? It's a medical certificate for an test result that I believe belongs to that woman. I see. You found a medical certificate saying someone had an. She says yes. That's pretty bad. Yeah, dude, that is pretty bad. And then she says, and when I asked him about it then, he said he was meeting her knowing that she was married or in a common law marriage. Well, we don't know if it's positive or negative. We just said it was a test. So, or maybe the translation isn't telling us whether it's positive or negative. I know sometimes it does skip on details. I don't know how Korekore gets all these people to blab to him all of these details that don't even make them look good. But I guess, I mean, she is completely anonymous there. Like, she's even using a voice changer. But just even the way you can see how sensationalist and how he plays it up from the transcript. But I bet even on stream, it's like 10 times more crazy. Okay, where was I? He admitted it is. So this woman, just like you, knows he's married and continues the relationship. And it was until last month. So is there a chance they're still going? Is there a chance they're still doing it even now? The woman says he also said it was just a casual fling with that person, and when I asked if he was going to continue with her, he said he doesn't like her, so he won't see her anymore. Can Fentasen come on the stream? He's in the middle of a sponsored stream. When does that end? Everyone, if I'm going to call him on, is it okay if I call him here? By the way, is it okay if I ask how old you are? She says he doesn't know either. Does that mean you're hiding your age? You told him when you first met, but he just doesn't remember? Oh, well, I'm just purely curious about your age. She says, I don't want to say it. Hey, you're not underage or anything, right? She says, no. Oh, okay, I just want to know the reason you're hiding it. She says, because I'm older. Ah, I see, you're older than Fanta-san. She says, yes. Yeah, how old is Fanta-san anyway? First of all, 35? Is that so you're over 35 and don't want to say it? Are you 50? He is. Hey, but Fanta-san, if it like he doesn't care about trashing his witnesses either. Like he talks to them too. Hey, but Fanta-san, if it becomes public that you're having an affair, you'll probably get fired from Zeta normally. No, you seriously will get fired. Zeta is strict about that kind of stuff. You have Fanta-san's contact info, right? She says, yes, I know it. Can you send it to me online? She says, understood. Ah, so this is definitely confirmed, everyone. I generally thought it might be fake, Fanta-san, like an alt account, but thanks. Do you want to get in touch? Wow, acting so superior. You're acting way above me. What do you mean, do I want to get in touch with you? Well, whatever. I'll message him online. Korekore, ignoring the woman older than Fanta-san. You can go. Is line not working for you either? Please, yes. Is this fine? No, please. Fanta-san is here now, so please, I understand. Thank you very much. I'll make a line group. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Now I'm going to introduce part of the vivid exchange between Fanta-san and the victim. It's genuinely intense, so I don't want. So if you don't want to see it, please be careful. Okay, here comes my favorite part. And now, so there in this segment, he shows the line messages on screen. So I shall now read the sacred text. Woman's line. I'd be happy if you let me know when you can come again. I want you to come inside. I want you to clean up a lot over there too. The woman says, you want me to lick it a lot, right? Oh dear. It's far from here, about 15 minutes. Come to the hotel quickly. She says, I just got to the hotel. I'm going to come just as I am. Is that okay? He says, yes, hurry. Oh, he's here. Fanta stream started. Okay, you want to do it on each other's streams? Fine, fine. If you'll come on, that's totally fine. Usually they run away. Sorry for the suddenness, Fanta-san. So then Fanta-san joins the call. Okay, so Fanta arrives on call, which honestly, it baffles me. Also, just the fact that he's streaming for thousands of people, he's shedding a huge light on this. I guess at this point he was like, well, Korekore exposed it, so I have no choice. Like, what's the mentality behind this move? Fanta says, oh, it's fine. So Korekore is straight to the point here. He's like, okay, excuse me, I'll be frank. Did you have an affair? Fanta says, I did. Kore says, I thought so. What the f is this exchange? This woman was saying that you told her your wife already knows. Fanta says, yes, my wife knows. Really? Does your wife really know that you had an affair? He says, yeah, she knows. Well, is your wife watching the stream? No, I don't think she's watching, probably. Well then, I don't really know if she actually knows or not, but do you have any proof? Also, are you having affairs with anyone besides this woman? Fanta responds, I was. By the way, when you say was, does that mean that you've cut off ties with everyone, or is there anyone you're currently in a relationship with? Fanta says no one. No one. I think you met with a woman in March of this year, but did you cut ties with her in April? Fanta says yes. Oh, why is that? Well, because my wife found out. I sent the same line message to the people I was involved with. Ah, when did your wife find out about the affairs? If my memory is correct, I think it was around mid-April. This is very recent then. She found out in mid-April. Ah, so recently. Yes. By the way, how many people, Fanta here hesitates. He's like, well, that's a bit, well, as far as I know, there are 3 people. Fanta says, I don't think I'm obligated to say that. Well, he didn't deny the 3 people claim, so it might be more. Korekore says, no, well, that's true, but you're still deceiving them, right? You're lying about not having a wife and child and having a relationship, at least with this woman. Is that right? Why are you asking who is being inconvenienced? This person, the person who just exposed me, is being inconvenienced. Eh, you don't know who this is? Oh, I know. Yes. And that person, we weren't officially dating, but we had a relationship under the premise that I wasn't married. And when we talked on the phone and I said I wasn't married, but actually I was, she said something like she already knew. She knew? Did the woman know? When I said I knew, that this is the woman talking, she interjects in the conversation. When I said I knew, it's because I had been told in ambiguous terms before, so I was in a state where I didn't know if it was true or not. When you told me before making it public, I was wondering if it was true or not. Korekore says, yeah, well, that's a given, Fanta-san, because unless someone tells you, they have a wife and child, you wouldn't know, right? Fanta says yes, but I did send a message saying no, saying so. Korekore, that was after the relationship was somewhat built, right? It does make a difference if you say it after or before. It's totally different. If it was before having sex, she'd say, ah, well, if you have a wife and child, it'll pass, right? Fanta says, I understand that it's a bad thing, but why is it necessary to know how many people there were? Korekore says, no, I was just wondering how many victims there are. Who wants to know that? Korekore says, well, me and my viewers. Isn't it fine if I don't say? Bro, Fanta doesn't have to say anything. Like, it looks like he's being interrogated by the police there. Like, he's being held against his will. Korekore says, it's fine if you don't say, but since you've come this far, if you're going to be so defiant, I think you might as well say it. Wow! This is so shameless! Fanta responds, no, well, regarding that, I'm just not going to say it. Well, yeah, well, does that mean there are so many people that you don't want to say? It makes it seem that way. Well, I admit there were multiple people. Yeah, no, the info I got says there were 3. Are you saying it's not 3? Can you at least answer if it's 3 or not? Hey, I don't think there's a need to say, so I won't say. Oh, well, understood. You really don't want to say. Okay, I understand up to that point. So you acknowledge the affair and you acknowledge that you deceived her. I acknowledge it, yes. And because your wife found out, you sent a line message, but by the way, you were saying that you sent that line message because your wife told you to send it like that. Because that's also true. So do you have any proof that your wife knows? For example, your wife might not be watching the stream, might not know this fact, so if you have something, I'll look for the line message. Fanta-san is getting pretty defensively angry. I wonder why he's so stubbornly refusing to talk. And what's more, there's a chance, for example, that he's hiding his identity as Fanta and having affairs on matching apps, like Tinder probably. So there might be people his wife doesn't know about. Honestly, creators who aren't that famous do that a lot on matching apps. Does this Fanta guy show his face, everyone? Hey, wait. It looks like a fake. Yokoyama came up, he doesn't show his face. I can't tell because he's wearing a mask. Then it's even easier for him to use dating sites. By the way, I heard a little bit about your wife finding out. Do you live in different houses? Fanta says we don't live together. Then how did she find out? We don't live together, but there are times when I go back. So like your wife came up to your house and saw your phone. When I went there to her place, my wife's place, she saw my phone and found out. That's right. You didn't delete the message, the exchange? I didn't delete them. I see. Oh, yes, I just sent it. Excuse me. Thank you very much. So he's showing up the evidence of the exchange with his wife. You weren't loved, huh? The guy is ignoring you like crazy too. Our talks comes after everything is settled with everyone. So don't do anything sneaky like contacting them any other way. Yeah, it seems like it's the part where he reported that he sent this message to the people he was involved with and then talked about who left them on red and who replied, rather than this part. I'd like to see the previous exchange. Also, Fanta-san, you tweeted in the past that affairs are fucking lame. That's... They always do that, do they? He tweeted that affairs are fucking lame and Korekore dug up that tweet. Fanta says, yes, that's a boomerang on me, I admit it. Yes. Looking at this exchange, well, it's an exchange with his wife. It's just a feeling, but is there another woman besides this one? Fanta says, no. Well, so long as the truth can be made public, that's fine. Yes, understood. Well, Fanta admitted it right away too. Well, I don't really have anything more to say. The rest is up to you to handle the aftermath. Fanta says, yes, understood. Well, I guess that's it. You've cut ties with the Purikura woman too, right? Fanta says, yes. Then they move on to confirming various things. Excuse me. Hey, just one more thing. I want to confirm there was a medical certificate for... Fanta says, yes. Did you pass this on to various people? I told the people I passed it to and the person on the phone right now to please go get checked and that I would pay for it. Ah, is that so? So did you do it? The woman, the test? The woman responds, I've never heard a single thing about that. Fanta says, no, I did tell you. She says, you didn't. No, I told you over the phone and then you said you didn't know. I've never even called you. No, I told you directly when we met. No, I didn't. Korekore says, you didn't? Well, isn't it a different woman? Are you sure you're not mistaken? Aren't you confusing her with someone else? Fanta says, no, I'm not mistaken. Well, that's just going to be a he said, she said argument, so there's nothing we can do. I mean, shouldn't you get a test since you haven't been doing those acts, but you were doing it last year, right? The woman says, last year? That's why an could pass. By the way, there was no last year. Why did she say it like that? Fanta is truly a champion club member, bro. Yes. Oh, that's Hey, what? You mean it was always with a rubber? She says, please ask him directly. Well, excuse me, Fanta-san, this is a bit explicit, but what exactly were you doing with this woman? Did she just do it to you the whole time? Fanta says, yes, that's... Why is this woman like that? Why? No, usually you do it, right? Why wouldn't she do it? I don't really get it. I've done that kind of thing with fans too. That's crazy. But it doesn't make sense to me, from my perspective. Fanta says, well, there is that. Maybe it's a matter of preference. I asked earlier, but were you making this woman do it while you were looking at something? I think I did make her do that, yes. No. Earlier, this woman said you were looking at your iPhone while she was doing that stuff, so I was wondering what you were looking at. Yes, I understand. Is there anything the one wants to ask? Finally, this is the end. You were in a relationship with other women even while we were meeting, right? Hey, you were in relationships? When you were seeing this woman, Fanta-san, you had a wife and child, so were you dating another woman? He says, yeah, I had those relationships. You're quite something. Yes, fantastic. Yeah, well, I understand. Well, even if we talk anymore, it's just going to drag on. So, you were having an affair and you had a relationship with various people, but now you've cut ties and don't know if you'll divorce in the future, to summarize. Well, right now we're proceeding in a way where we won't get divorced. Ah, is that so? By the way, are you fired from Zeta? I don't know about that. I leave it to Zeta's judgment. Understood. Yes, got it. Well, is the woman okay with everything? She says yes. Excuse me, well, lastly, was it without a rubber? Oh, for the record, this woman says she didn't do it raw. Maybe when I was drinking, it was raw. Maybe we did, yes. Korekore says, you have to wear rubber. You absolutely have to wear one. That's why I can't forgive the most. That alone, I absolutely cannot forgive right now. I'm sorry, I got a little emotional. Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah, well, is the woman okay too? It's about time. Yeah, well, excuse me. Sorry for interrupting. Sorry for messing up your stream. No, it's fine. Yeah, excuse me. Yes, goodbye then. Yes, thank you very much. What do you mean, who are you to say? What do you mean? No, it's exactly because it's me that I can't say it, everyone. That's exactly why I'm saying it now. You guys absolutely have to wear rubbers. I don't know if I'll wear one next time, though. What the f is this sentence? Is this a mistranslation? That's crazy. Yeah, it's not that's the part Korekore got emotional about, not the infidelity, it's the not wearing a rubber. I don't know, this entire thing is fucking crazy. Every single party is crazy in this situation. Like, clown world. It's kind of cinema, but it's clown world.